Good evening and welcome to St. Louis Park Girls Basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, strap it on, and we've got a doozy tonight. The St. Louis Park Lady Orioles at 4-0 are hosting the Tigers from Fridley, who are also 4-0 in non-conference battle. I'm Mike Resnick, and joining me tonight is the big cat, John Fromm. Welcome back, John.
Good to be back for another season, Mike. I know just fantastic as you take a look at the Park basketball tradition site. And indeed, there's a ton of tradition here. The Orioles 4-0 on the season. And it's exciting that the Fridley Tigers, both teams were formerly in for years in the North Suburban Conference. Of course, this is Park's first year in the Metro West. And Fridley had to take their act to the Tri-Metro. We have a couple featured players tonight that I know you want to talk about on the Park side. I'm excited to see Suzanne Gilreath as well as Brooke Teff for Fridley. Gilreath averaging 31 a game for Fridley. As you had mentioned to me earlier, second in the state in scoring. 31 a game after four games for them. Teff also averaging 18. These teams played twice last year, and both games were 2-point Oriole wins, so we're hoping for that tonight. Why don't you talk about St. Louis Park, Mike, and your background?
Sure. Thanks, John. Well, St. Louis Park normally would have a very solid matchup tonight. Unfortunately, they've been smitten by the illness bug, and one of their starters, Skylar Nagorski, has missed 3 or 4 days with the flu. And Autumn Ballesteros, who was one of the other starters, is out of town on a school event. And the third starter, Lauren Resnick, came down with the flu yesterday, and she'll miss the game tonight. So you'll definitely see a different lineup for Park tonight. You'll see some different matchups, and they're probably going to be calling on the number 3, Mara Henderson, and interestingly enough, both number 3s are going to be a big matchup tonight. Mara is averaging about 20 points a game in her first 4 games, just a hair under there at 19.5. Skylar Nagorski led the team, or was leading the team in rebounds, so someone's going to have to pick up the slack for those rebounds. And then there's a host of others that will be fun to watch. So we've got a freshman that'll get some playing time by the name of Lorraine Maxie Moore, and you'll find out that she plays an exciting brand of ball. Very fast, a lot of good hands. If they can get her under control, I think that's the face of the program.
And even with a really senior-dominated crew, you mentioned Lauren Resnick out tonight, big loss for the Orioles, obviously. Autumn, the point guard, not here as well. It's really going to be a test for the girls, not only to see if they can clamp down on Gilreath and Teff, but just to see how the seniors who are here respond. And you're right. I mean, you've got only 2 underclassmen seeing a lot of minutes for the Orioles, but I'm excited to strap it on tonight with you. And I imagine the girls are so excited, Mike, after winning, not only starting 4-0, but winning the Henry Sibley tournament last weekend. I'd love it for you to chime in a little bit about those 2 wins last weekend.
No, it was exciting. They actually started Friday night. They had a late game, the 7:30 game, which didn't start until 8. And they beat the Henry Sibley. Let's see if I've got the score there, John. But it was a very aggressive game, and the girls didn't shoot particularly well, but they really had the hustle points. And I think that, do you have the result on that one? I don't want to leave you hanging, but they won
67-63 Oriole win.
Thank you. Yeah. So the game was a little further away than what the score actually indicates. And then they came back on Saturday night at 6 o'clock, defeating South St. Paul 47-30. And the South St. Paul team actually defeated Park 2 years in a row prior to that. So coming into it, they were 0-2 against South St. Paul. So they had a nice rebound and really beat them up and down the floor with a lot of steals, a lot of layups, and their free throw percentage was extremely high that day. So the one area where Park has struggled a little bit this year is their shooting percentage from the field. It's down just a little bit from last year. They're shooting about 37% from the field and about 20% from the three-point line. Right. So just some things to look at. If they can get their shooting intact, I think that they'll make for a really tough matchup tonight.
Well, one thing too, we mentioned Fridley coming in 4-0 as well, led by Gilreath and Teff, and Gilreath second in the state in scoring, averaging 31 a game. I'm really excited. As you mentioned, Park 4-0, but last year you had a really close game with Blake opening game. You really took it to them this year. You mentioned South St. Paul and the results in previous years compared to last weekend.
True.
A lot of really good things, and the senior leadership that those girls have provided. A lot of these girls are 3-year starters, if not 4 in some cases, and.
You're right, John, and we'll be able to touch on a little more of that. We've got about 20 seconds here before the national anthem, and we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back to the broadcast.
Engines.
Check.
Thrusters.
Check.
Fuel.
Check.
Computers.
Check.
Social Security.
No check, go direct.
That's right, Patty. A few weeks ago, I went online to godirect.org to sign up for direct deposit. It's easy to do, and I got my cash at warp speed.
Wow, it's fast and easy. I'll sign up right now to make sure I'm prepared for our next mission.
Well, we're back. Welcome back to St. Louis Park girls basketball, where tonight the Orioles are hosting the Tigers of Fridley. And we just had an amazing rendition of the Star Spangled Banner by senior Carly Donald.
Yeah, boy, was it ever, and a great crowd on hand this Friday evening. Love to see all the student support. There, both starting lineups introduced. There you see Abby Olson, the senior, going out against...
Nope, that's Amy.
Oh, Amy Olson,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Amy Schultz.
Amy Schultz.
Yep. So we've got, for the Orioles so far, Mara Henderson, number 3, Amy Schultz, number 12. We've got Lorraine Maxie Moore, number 23. And getting her first start of the season is number 24, Addie Mae Perkins. Addie Mae is going to meet number 31. That's Brooke Teff out at center court. Maybe not. Brooke has gone to her own team. And we've got number 32. That is Matea Robinson. And rounding it out for the Orioles is number 45, Abigail Olson.
So, yeah, some definite size in there, and it'll be interesting. Robinson, number 32 for Fridley, has a lot of size and some good width as well. As you see the Orioles firing each other up here. How exciting for Addie Mae Perkins. How exciting for Addie Mae getting the start today as a senior, and all the girls gathered around there. Amy Schultz is well part of that crew.
The Orioles didn't seem to get the cheer that they were hoping for, John. Let's hope that that's not an indication for the night.
Well, what an exciting crowd on this Friday, and I'd love to see the student support. The music is kicked in, and we're ready to strap it on.
They've got jump around, and let's see if we can get up and pick this tip up. Abigail Olson versus number 2 is Anna Schwint. And the Tigers win quickly, going to, that's Suzanne Gilreath. And she misses the first one, rebounded by Teff. She got fouled, but they didn't call it. So Teff with the basket, offensive rebound, and the bucket.
We're going to see a lot of Teff and Gilreath tonight, and indeed we did starting off there.
Schultz quickly up to Mara Henderson on the right side. She dribbles, pulls up from the elbow. She misses, no rebound, and that's Teff, who quickly goes out to Gilreath. And you can see the Tigers seem to want to push it up, and now they're holding it up to reset. That's 12 is Backstrom. Backstrom's a three-year player. And here comes Gilreath. Gilreath coming off the screen. That from downtown, off. And the rebound by Schwent, and she misses. And another rebound.
And the ball goes off Teff's hands and out of bounds. Good offensive rebound by Schwent there as the Orioles start off in a person-to-person defense.
You can see the Orioles are missing not having Skylar down there underneath to defend that big spot. Here's Henderson down to Olson. It looks like it might have been tipped. It was tipped by number 32. That's Robinson.
Yeah, you mentioned Skylar not in yet, and with Robinson's bulk, as we mentioned, in size, it'll be interesting whether Coach Massey in his first year as a head coach can spot her a little bit, or if indeed the entire center position falls in rebounding falls to Abigail Olson.
Yeah, and you've got Lauren missing too, and she was second on the team in rebounding. Here's Maxie Moore who misses. Oh, and that's off Robinson, and the Orioles will get a break.
Yeah, if you just tuned in here, number 23 is Maxie Moore for the Orioles. She's only a freshman, along with Mara Henderson, number 3, a junior. Otherwise, it's all seniors.
Moore dribbles out of the lane, goes back in the lane, and then she was fouled by 31, and that's Teff. First team foul, first personal foul.
So Teff's got a hoop and a foul so far, number 31 for them. She comes off a 29-point outing the other day, so.
LeRae makes the first one.
Good form for the freshman there.
She's got an interesting style. She actually doesn't stand very close to the line. She stands back a little bit.
Confident stroke, though.
And she makes the second one.
Yeah, she gets rid of it pretty quick there, Mike.
So the Orioles tie it up. We've got 2-2 with just under 17 minutes left in the first. You're joining us on a warm night here in downtown St. Louis Park. That's Schultz guarding Gilreath. Gilreath, a beautiful backdoor pass to Teff, and you can see the chemistry between Teff and Gilreath there again.
Boy, she really spotted her, and it was a nice job by Teff be able to beat her person and get a nice angle and a nice backdoor pass there.
So that foul was on LeRae, and she's got her first.
Nice shot over there. Coach Massey giving some instructions to Henderson and Moore.
Teff makes the first. As John mentioned, Teff started the season out with 4 points. Then she moved it to 10. Then in her third game, she had 27. And in the last game, she had 29 points. And she nails both of them. So now we've got Schultz bringing it over the timeline. She quickly snaps it to the corner. That's Mara Henderson. Mara's now at the 2 guard. She normally plays the point. She pulls up and she hits.
Nice job for her going to her left and getting the 10-footer from inside the lane.
Mara's really had her stroke this year. She's really been playing Oh, and a wild shot by Gilreath, but they're going to call Amy Schultz for the fall. That's her first.
And that's too bad for Amy because Gilreath was a little off balance as she broke towards the baseline that time, and she one-handed that attempt, so the odds of her putting that down were not too good anyway.
You're right, John. They bailed her out, and interestingly enough, Gilreath is very successful with the one-handed runner. Oh, they didn't count it. They took it away because she went over the line. She said she agrees.
Good job by the referee on the side that time spotting that.
Nice.
She's really bellied up right to the black in the line.
Nice to have that 3-man crew tonight. And she makes the second of 2. So that gives the Tigers a 1-point lead. They're up 4-5 here, or 5-4. 16:23 left, and there's a turnover. And Gilreath, look how fast she gets up the floor, and there's 2.
Boy, did she read that exceptionally and came up from the free throw line to cut the angle and make the steal.
Yeah. So the Orioles are going to have to be prepared. A couple of their opponents. Oh, and there's another turnover for the Orioles. And Robinson comes up with that pick. Good denial defense there, John.
She overplayed on the right side and got that right hand in. Both teams with a man-to-man approach, as Mike mentioned.
Teff going straight in, and somehow she weaves her way in for a basket, not needing the backboard. And now the Orioles are down 9-4, and they need a bucket here, John.
And it's all been Teff and Gilreath offensively so far for Fridley, not a surprise.
Henderson on the pull-up, and that goes top of the backboard, and Teff with the big rebound, and Teff pushing it up the floor. Nice. Henderson cuts her off. She gets the steal. Oh, right back to Teff, who finds Backstrom with a long 3-pointer. That's off. And she gets her own rebound and then throws it off of Olsen.
Boy, you know, you really got to hand it to Backstrom there. She launched a 21-footer long rebound in the corner, and unlike a lot of young ladies or men that will admire their own shot and not even react to it, she bolted into the corner to gather that and threw it off the Oriole player.
That's a great call out, John. The Orioles are just being out-hustled right now, and they're clearly missing the spunkiness of Autumn and Lauren. I think normally wouldn't let those go so easy. So, and underneath is Robinson, who goes right over Addie Mae Perkins, and now the score is 11-4. The Orioles need to find some magic here quickly.
Beautiful pass by Backstrom in there to find Robinson as well for the assist.
Henderson goes in, and she tries to pass it over to Schultz, but instead she throws it out of bounds. You know, I'm looking at some of the Orioles. They look a little winded, John.
Well, yeah, and you know, you mentioned the 3 young ladies that are out for the Orioles. When you talk about the Big 8 for St. Louis Park in terms of who sees a lot of playing time, you're basically, you know, got 5 girls that have been pretty regular contributors is what you've got tonight.
So we're at the 14:50 mark here in the first half. Orioles find themselves down 4-11. And there's a steal by Maxie Moore, but then it goes out of bounds. So she got the tip and unfortunately just couldn't corral it. And again, getting it against Gilreath, you're seeing some freshman versus a very experienced junior player who, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, is the second in the state in scoring at this point in the season. Oh, and then Moore gets hit with them.
Yeah, a little overplay that time, and then you got a little freshman youth that time in Maxie Moore. I'm sure Coach Massey has, you know, talked a lot about Gilreath and how, as a freshman, she's going to have to try to deny Gilreath as much as she can.
I believe that's her second foul too, John, and they can't afford to lose her this early in the game because we just don't have that deep of a bench right now. And there's Gilreath. She knows she's got the freshman on her, and she goes strong, misses. And that's number 2 is Schwent. Schwent finds Teff. Teff goes in. She does a runner. She can't make it. Olsen with the rebound, and Teff over the back. And I believe that, is that Teff's second?
That is her second foul. She wasn't aggressive on her drive that time.
So that could be the equalizer, John, if they can get Teff out of there.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see a replacement. Number 25 could be Brooke Miller coming in, and she comes in for Teff.
Well, and I tell you, what we've seen so far is Gilreath and Teff by far the most aggressive players for Fridley. And you're right. I mean, 14-29 still remains in the first half. You have the second leading scorer on the team and a very aggressive offensive player already saddled on the bench for maybe that is the equalizer.
Who called the timeout? I didn't see who called the timeout there, but we're at the 14-29 mark. Orioles down early, 11-4, but plenty of time left. And just wanted to talk a little bit about the Fridley team. We haven't mentioned it. They're coached by Eric Redepenning. And Eric was telling me earlier in the week that they're off to their best start of the season. So at 4-0, he's very excited about the team, and he's getting contributions from more than just Gilreath, which is in the past that wasn't the case.
Yeah, we mentioned those two, but also Backstrom averaging over 7 a game for them, and Brooke Miller, who's just in the game, almost 5 a game for them.
Absolutely. Oh, Mara Henderson goes in. She kicks it out to Maxie Moore, who gets a three-pointer blocked. And quickly into the game is Brooke Miller gets her rebound within 2 seconds of entering the game. And now you've got Gilreath. She's yo-yoing on the left side. Oh, and there's a tip by Maxie Moore. Maxie Moore, she's going to go in. Let's see if she gets it contested. She does. And Olsen with the offensive rebound. She misses the layup. And Henderson corrals it. Let's see. Oh, now no one's on Mara. She recognizes that. She shoots an 18-footer. It's no good. And now the Tigers are going to be pushing it back up. Here's Gilreath, and you see Maxie Moore is all over the floor. And good news, folks, we've got Skylar Nagorski, who's been out 4 days this week, and she's set to check in. And we got Skylar Nagorski, number 22, now in for Abigail Olsen. And on that last play, we had Maxie Moore tipping Gilreath's pass out of bounds, John.
And she almost made the layup that time, but great to see the freshman still playing hard aggressively against the Gilreath.
Oh, that might have been a travel. I think they did. They got her with the travel.
And how nice to see Skylar out there. You mentioned, we've talked in the past about how Abigail and Skylar are really the interior players if they play the high-low, set offensively or whatever the switches may be. But nice to see her. It's interesting to see how Coach Massey spots her. But I'll tell you what, with Robinson's size in there, and as well as Miller's got some bulk, who just entered the game too. So.
On the one I'm surprised with is Schwent.
Yeah.
Schwent looks like she's about a 6-footer. Oh,
there's already Skylar hitting the boards.
With the offensive board, couldn't convert, and then she's going to get a jump ball. So instantly she makes an impact in the game.
Really nice to see that, and you mentioned her being out this week, but she's a senior leader, great offensive rebounder for the Orioles as well. We'll see if the Orioles can cut into this margin.
I just looked at your stats there, John. Schwent is listed as a 6-footer, and she is every inch of that, I think. Here's Nagorski, pump fakes. Maxie Moore in the corner. That's a three-pointer, no good. No rebound for the Orioles, and Miller is making her mark. Oh, and there's almost a steal by Henderson. Here comes Gilreath. Gilreath surveying the land. Orioles look like they're playing almost a soft zone, but now they're sagging back, and they're in a man-to-man. Oh, Henderson with the tip and the steal. She's going in, 1-on-2. Gilreath from behind. She lets her go, and a left-handed layup by Henderson.
Love to see the junior Henderson picking a pocket. It's a steal right there, and it's up for the deuce for St. Louis Park.
So timeout for the Tigers we're just under 13 minutes. Orioles have now cut the lead to 5, and they're down by 11-6, John.
11-6. And Maxie Moore, I think, is the kind of young lady that can really harass Gilreath enough if she can keep her fouls at a minimum and not add to the team total. It'll be interesting how the Orioles match up when Maxie Moore is not on Gilreath, what they choose to do defensively. Do you have any thoughts on that? Or?
No, I agree, and I think it's fascinating how you talk about impact players, and I see Skylar goes in for 30 seconds. She gets an offensive rebound, a jump ball. She almost got a putback. Unfortunately, she just didn't get it high enough off the backboard. But instantly she made an impact there, and that's what you need from your key and your core players.
Right.
So here we are. We're just under 13 minutes, and the Tigers are throwing it in, and that's Backstrom. She's looking to bring it over the timeline. surveying the land. Orioles staying in their man-to-man. They've been playing a man-to-man pretty much all year, John, and I really like it because they've really brought the intensity up in their man. Look at Amy Schultz. Yeah. She's all over, and they got the switch, and then Henderson with the tip. That's good team defense.
And just as you mentioned, as you called it, Addie Mae Perkins got a hand on that, and then Mara got a hand on that as well. You've got 2-3 turnovers here caused by the press as well and the trapping.
I like the fact they're not doing a box and one, but they're identifying the fact that if someone gets picked, they do the switch. Oh, Addie gets beat. Here comes Swent. She goes in. Oh, with the left hand, and then the right-handed switch, and then Henderson with the rebound. Ooh, she double dribbled. They let it go. Here comes Henderson over the timeline. 2-on-4. She pulls it back. Here's Perkins from 3. No, she looks over. And that's Schultz. Schultz inside Schuyler, and they're going to get Robinson on the foul.
Yeah, Robinson, we talked about, she made a steal earlier on an overplay. She almost tried to overplay Schuyler that time, and it cost her with the foul, and that is her second. So Robinson, the young lady with some size, with 2 already for them.
So 2 of the starters now have 2 fouls. Let's see if they continue to go down low at them, John.
Oh, my mistake. I guess that's only her first. My
mistake. Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. All right. So there's Nagorski. She finds Maxie Moore, who goes back to Addie Mae Perkins from downtown. She goes a little, look at Skylar Nagorski, offensive rebound and the left-handed putback.
Can we call that an assist? It worked that way perfectly, I'll tell you.
So a nice hustle play again. Skylar making the impact. There's Henderson gets a tip on it. And in Tubby Smith's book, that's a good stat. They always look for the tip stats. Tips or deflections. Rebound. Oh, nobody boxed out Backstrom.
Yeah.
Here comes the runner by Gilreath.
Good.
And then no one boxes up. There's Skylar Nagorski. And now she gets it up to Amy. Amy's looking. She's got Henderson on the left. Henderson, Backstrom missed her. And here comes Maxie Moore on the baseline. And no, she misses it. And
beautiful sequence for the Orioles. We weren't rewarded for their offensive and defensive prowess, but nice drive by Maxie Moore. And I'll tell you, she didn't get it, but good rebounding as well for the Orioles.
Here's Backstrom. John, during that last timeout, Robinson, she kicks it out to Brooke. Brooke Miller from 3. That's no good. And there's Backstrom again. You know, during the last time, it was Gilreath with a long 3. That's no good. Henderson with the rebound. We neglected to announce that number 15 is Stephanie Keeler for the Tigers. Oh, there's a beautiful play.
Boy,
Henderson finds the streaking Nagorski with the left-handed put-in.
At the 14:29 mark, Skylar Nagorski, 22, entered the game, and she's got, I believe, 2 baskets already, a couple of assists, 3 rebounds, so fantastic. Orioles have cut it from 11-4 to 11-10 now.
And there's Gilreath, and she can't hit. As long as she keeps missing, the Orioles have a good chance. Here comes Henderson over the timeline. She's going to attack John. Oh, and they get her for a foul?
Wow.
On the floor.
If that would have been the NBA, you would have had almost a continuation play as Mara went left to right there beautifully and worked the right hand up.
So I think they're calling the foul on the floor. I don't think she was. Are they going to give her the shot?
I don't know if they signaled whether it's down, but I tell you what,
it was on the floor, John. They're going to give her the ball on the baseline. So it was a good attempt.
Second foul, though, on Robinson.
Okay, now Robinson does have 2, and so that'll help out the Orioles. Let's see. Addie Mae Perkins goes way back to Maxie Moore, who takes 1 dribble, pushes off, didn't get called for it, and then she throws up a shot and misses. And now number 10, that's Dean in the game, Abby Dean.
And here's Backstrom.
Oh, a good backdoor pass, but Maxie Moore gets a handle on it. And she's pushing it up. John, she's going 1-on-3. Oh, and she misses the teardrop. Oh. Addie Mae Perkins gets the offensive rebound. And they reset with Henderson. Henderson, top of the key. We're at the 10-minute mark here, and the Orioles are down by 1, 10-11. Mike Resnick along with John Big Cat Fromm.
Michael Ray Resnick on your broadcast tonight.
There's Henderson from a long 3. It's good. Henderson from Skylar Nagorski, and the Orioles now lead 13-11, John.
Boy, you got to love it. The Orioles on a 9-0 run here. They've been able to curtail and shut down Gilreath, who is out of the game right now. Hopefully the Orioles can make some hay here.
Orioles
carrying the ball, I tell you, that time was not. Oh, indeed, yes.
Good call, John. Johnny on the spot that time.
That was Miller, that's an easy call, I think, for any official. Nice to see them whistle it down. And Gilreath as well, right back in the game. They're not going to let her sit too long.
They gave her enough time to catch a quick breath and a sip of Gatorade, and she's back out there. I don't suspect she's going to be riding the pine very much at all tonight with the close game, and they've got that 4-0 record on the line.
Oh, yeah. And she's only got 1 field goal so far. I think she's launched 5 or 6 shots, so hopefully the Orioles can keep harassing her.
Look at Skylar Nagorski from 3. That's no good. And no rebound for the Orioles, but there's a couple people crashing, and then they push it back to Gilreath. Here comes Gilreath into the front court.
Nice to see Henderson taking her this time.
Yep.
Orioles switching up here and having Mara on her.
Number 3 and number 3.
And wise move, I think, by Massey. You know, you don't want to see Maxie Moore getting her third early in the first half here.
I agree. Give her some different looks. There's Amy Schultz with the tie-up, and she ties up. Is that number 10? It is. Number 10 is Dean.
And especially, you know, with a smaller bench tonight, Mike, you know, she got the 2 quick fouls. You know she's fast enough to stay with Gilreath, but you want to get her through the first half playing and with only 2.
True. There's a break by Dean. She misses the shot, but here's Maxie Moore. She gets up the rebound, and she carries the ball. That's a double dribble.
Gilreath with got the left hand in there to kind of harass her angle on the dribble.
One of the things we've noticed this year is that she hasn't developed a left hand, and so if she could cross over to the left hand or even, you know, pivot and go the other way, but when she gets ahead of steam, she goes 110 miles an hour.
Well, and you know, and as a 9th grader too, you know, I don't know how many years she's played AAU summer ball or anything, but it'll be interesting what she does over the summer to improve and work on that.
Yeah. Oh, there's Henderson pushes Gilreath into the backcourt.
Good press, possible trap
there,
here.
Henderson.
Mara going to get one there, but almost another steal for Mara on Gilreath.
Yeah, it's so I believe that's Henderson's first foul, right, John?
I believe that's correct.
So first foul on Henderson, 4th team foul, and now the team fouls are evened up at 4 apiece, and they're Brooke Miller throwing it in at half court. She gets it over to Backstrom. Backstrom being hawked by Amy Schultz. And now we've got, there's a new player in, number 23. That is Angela Purnell. She goes to Miller from 3-point. She misses. Oh, nobody boxes out Backstrom. And then Mara Henderson gets away with a kick, and they called it.
Backstrom, even though Backstrom doesn't have a lot of height for the Tigers, I think that's her 3rd or 4th rebound she's corralled, and she's definitely willing to fight through the post players to try to get some position.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing that the Orioles are not able to get a body on some of these girls, because some of these rebounds are a little too easy for the Tigers. Oh, and Gilreath, and are they going to call her for traveling or a foul? Oh, if that is, that could be Maxie Moore's 3rd. Let's see if they get her on.
I wonder if that's on Amy Schultz. I think that was. Yeah, indeed it was Amy.
Okay. So
yeah, she got the hand, she got the arm in there fully, and you were right. It was just a matter of whether she made contact before the travel occurred. But
so that's 2 fouls on Schultz now. We'll see how long they can keep her in there before we see Abby Olson coming back in. So, there she is. As we speak, Abby stands up. Oh, and there's a steal. Let's see Maxie Moore. She hops and jumps, and it's good.
Nice read as well, and that's steal number, I believe, 4 for the half. We don't have an official book on that, but fantastic.
Orioles extend their lead 15-11. Here comes Gilreath. Gilreath, you know she's just looking to start that offense, because at 31 points a game. Oh, and a big block by Skylar Nagorski. And here comes Maxie Moore. Let's see if she stays under control this time. Oh, she doesn't. She drops her head. And are they going to give her a...
Oh, I think they're going to get a block call because they didn't signal it quick. And I thought indeed it was a charge. So
she really lowered her shoulder there.
Yeah, it's good camera work by her crack staff. Curtin Dean. Good reference by Paul in the truckers. That was Adrian Peterson on the carry there.
So Maxie Moore gets away with a little something there. Now what are they calling? Oh, they're reversing the call now,
they
John.
are. Oh, wow.
And if they do, that's going to be Maxie Moore's 3rd foul?
If indeed it is, yeah, that's 3. Yep. And they're going to see if Coach Massey takes her out quick. Indeed, yeah, they're going to have to take her out. They had signaled that on Backstrom, which I think you and I thought, well, I don't know if that's a defense. So we'll see what the Orioles do here and who's going to guard Gilreath.
Well, the Orioles just got markedly slower now, John. We've got we're going with our 2 bigs, and we don't have our speed or our hands team out there, but it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see on offense how we do from a matchup standpoint. Oh, and look at that's was that 2 shots on Dean?
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think as Dean on the chart, I think that might be on Amy Schultz again. Yeah, indeed it is, and that
could be her 3rd.
That
will be her 3rd.
Okay.
And now the coach is going to have to make some tough decisions.
Right. We got 2 Orioles saddled with 3 fouls, including a couple of pretty good backcourt small forward.
And he's looking to bring in Radiance Brown. This will be Radiance's first time this early in the game, and she's going to give Amy Schultz a break. And now, John, at the 7:49 mark, you can see what it's like when you lose Lauren and Autumn.
Yeah.
And it's
and you don't have Maxie Moore right now. You don't have Amy Schultz because of the 3 fouls. Probably a lot of pressure on Mara right now. I assume defensively you're either going to go to a zone or have her take Gilreath, but we'll be interested to see.
Yeah. Well, and then you don't want her to get in foul trouble.
Right.
So the basket is good by that was number 10, Dean. And she cuts the Oriole lead to 15-12. I'm sorry for stuttering there. So 3-point lead for the Orioles. And here's That's Henderson. Henderson on the right side. Henderson goes back to Olsen. Olsen from the elbow. She gives a fake and 2 dribbles. She tries to go underneath Schwent. Schwent with the block, and then it's out of bounds. So Orioles will get it back.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. And you know what I thought too was that maybe the Orioles were going to get the call there because I thought Schwent made some contact, but it was a no call.
Yeah, it looked like Abby tried to go up and under. I think she could have gone over her that time because there was a little bit of a size difference. Oh, Skylar misses, and there's Radiance Brown with the offensive rebound, and the foul is on Gilreath.
Radiance radiated a nice rebound and went up for the deuce that time, and indeed that's the first one on, the first one on Gilreath. And if there's one thing the Orioles could wish for, was a couple more on her. One thing we talked about is how fouls impact the game. We haven't seen Teff, since the 14-29 mark, who's their second leading scorer. So
yeah. She's down the bench about 4 girls. I don't know if that's any indication of anything, but you've got Robinson on the bench, you got Teff on the bench.
Right. So fouls playing Orioles with 7 fouls, and I believe officially I have 6 for Fridley.
So Radiance misses both of the free throws. We're at the 7:15 mark here. First half action from St. Louis Park. And there's, Gilreath, and she's trying to do too much, John. That's what they call the hot dog and no shake. Here's Backstrom goes into Dean, who whittles her way through, and then they're going to get, I think that's Radiance. But boy, how did little Abby Dean get through 3 people and find herself in front of the basket?
I thought she was going left hand on the baseline, but indeed she faked, and I don't know if she crossed over there to go the right hand, but you got to give it to her. And I'll tell you, you're right. Gilreath shaking and baking out there from 25 feet, just like her dad, David Gilreath, who was a D1 player himself. And we saw for Marshall Yuhan was a fantastic All-State player, Gilreath's father. So
a lot of great athletes in that family, including he's had some older brothers that played ball, and his son actually is on the practice squad for one of the NFL teams. So really fun to watch the Gilreath family here. And you can see Dean makes her second of 2, closing the gap to 2 points. Orioles up 15-13, just under 7 minutes left here. St. Louis Park, Radiance on the left side. She goes over to Addie Mae Perkins at the top of the key. She ball fakes. Finds Skylar. Skylar gives a fake. Oh, and she tries to dribble through
nice
2
steal
people.
By Gilreath that time on the.
You're not going to get through the quick hands of Gilreath. She tries to go high off the backboard. That's no good. Henderson with the rebound, but she gets tied up by Backstrom, and we've got a jump ball, and that's going to go to the Orioles.
Oh, good trap that time. I tell you what, Orioles got the ball back on the jump ball, but nice trap as Gilreath was able to close and be the second player to finish the trap to get the steal. But she misses again, I think, 1 of 8, 1 of 9 in the field. So the Orioles got to be pretty pleased when you're in foul trouble, and at least Gilreath hasn't opened up on you yet.
John, you just have to wonder when she's going to start hitting those. Oh, a deep pass into Olsen, who steps away from the basket, and she hits a little baby turnaround jump shot. And Abby Olsen is on the scoreboard with her first 2 points.
She gave herself a little space by going back out towards the foul line to shoot that.
Henderson did a nice job of passing that from about 30 feet away from her. Oh, big crossover by Gilreath.
Oh,
and blocked by Henderson.
Tamara sprints out.
And Nagorski with the rebound, and here comes Henderson. Orioles up 17-13. Quickly down to Olsen, who has Abby Mae Perkins underneath. Can't see her.
Oh, nicely done.
And then Olsen with the rebound, and she kicks it back. They reset.
Oh, nice crossover by Mara herself.
Nagorski misses, and another offensive rebound for the Orioles. That's Addie Mae Perkins, who's wide open.
Oh, she is.
Oh, and she misses the 3, and nobody there to rebound. The Orioles had a nice set there, John. Had plenty of chances, and look at Gilreath on the attack. Here she comes baseline. Oh, she had number 2 as Schwent open. No one's covering her. That's a long 3. Let's see. Oh, and Radiance, let's see if she was in position. Nope, there we go. Schwent out of bounds.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Mara did a nice job. The Orioles, you mentioned how they were playing so much man-to-man earlier in the half. With the 3 fouls, they indeed have to switch to some zone. But Mara kind of playing, a box and one or whatever you want to call, where she pinned Gilreath down on the baseline there, and they cut her off. So
the Orioles have been giving that baseline up, and they've been practicing the weak side person coming over and covering, so they trap on the base.
Good.
It's a great play if your weak side person remembers to do it.
Yeah, and it's really paying attention.
Oh, look at the backdoor pass to Radiance, who misses. Oh, and let's see if she can go up strong.
Radiance throwing
they're going to get her for traveling.
Too bad, because it was a nice interior pass to Radiance. She just missed it, and then she was aggressive to get the board, but she's going to get her first foul, and that's...
I haven't seen passing like that since Chris Bjorgard played down at the Lifetime Fitness.
And I don't know if Chris even heard that comment, but hopefully he'll watch the replay of the game as he's sitting nearby here. So, yeah, I don't know, Mike. We talked about both teams 4-0. If you just joined us, both teams, the Fridley Tigers and St. Louis Park Orioles, coming into this game undefeated, 4-0. The Orioles off last weekend's Henry Sibley Tournament Championship. The Tigers out of Fridley. These teams have played 2 times a year for, I think, 8, 9 years when they were in the North Suburban. They're not in the same conference anymore, but I tell you what, I sure hope in future years Coach Massey can get together with the Fridley staff and they can keep this, because it's a great environment, a big crowd. It really is. It's almost like a senior night type crowd here.
You know, it's a Friday night, and I will tell you, John, I think the athletic department has opened up admission to students, so they're letting kids come in to watch the games, and hopefully they'll get their the revenue back at the concession stand. But it's a great, you got to fill the gym, and it really changes the way the kids play, and they love to have that support. Oh, a nice pass underneath to number 15 is Keeler. She goes to the base, and she was quickly fouled. Let's see if who they snatched that on. I think it's going to be Radiance.
Yeah, I think it was Radiance.
If that is, I believe that's her. Is that her second? It is. Now Radiance is straddled with 2. And the Orioles are just putting themselves in a bit of a jam. You know, the one good thing is Mara only has 1, and she makes the first. 17-14 now in favor of the Lady Orioles. We're at the 5-minute mark here. First half action from beautiful downtown St. Louis Park, Minnesota.
And if you didn't know there was a downtown, indeed there is. It's Dakota and 33rd, or Dakota and Lake Street, as we like to call it. It's not Miracle Mile on Excelsior. That's too overdeveloped.
But it is where all the action happens on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Where the McDonald's is, as Paul chimes in. The second one in the state of Minnesota, I believe.
Ooh, good trivia. So Orioles up by 2 points here, just under 5. There's Henderson, goes down to Olsen, who does a little shake and bake, and she can't get it to go. Ooh.
Well executed on the entry pass by Mara, though. She really gave her an excellent chance to finish there.
Mara's had about 3 really nice passes that we just haven't been able to convert on. We got to execute. Oh, underneath, the Schwent is open. She goes inside. Olsen gets the block with the left. I think that was a left hand, John.
It's a block party. I think that's 5 or 6 for the team as well.
And now we've got Schultz. Schultz looking down. She's on the right side. Here's Henderson. Henderson. Oh, she one step back, and now they're looking to go down low to Skylar. Skylar asks for it. She's got 2 on her. Kicks it out to Henderson from
beautiful trifecta.
And Henderson makes it 20-15 with 4 minutes left.
Love the 2-person game there, in and out with Skylar, who's got interior moves herself, and she goes. Mara's got a big height advantage over Gilreath, and indeed she knocks down the trifecta.
Good call. Oh, and quickly under to Keeler with a beautiful fake. She can't convert. And again, Skylar, the Windex Nagorski.
And she's winding a little bit. You can tell she's at 10 minutes in the game, and she's got the ball back here. But
Amy goes out to Skylar, who kicks it back to Addie Mae Perkins, who can't hit from 3. Olsen with the rebound, and they reset. Here's Henderson. Henderson, 1 step back. She goes short.
And Mara,
she's pleading for the fall.
She's complaining that Gilreath hit her on the wrist that time. She faked right, she went left. She really does a nice job of crossing over, going to her left hand, or left side as well, Mike.
And the Tigers swing it quickly to the left side, and then that Olsen tipped it out. It could have been off of Brooke Miller, but the official on the baseline was right there, so I guess we're going to go with him.
Yep, he's got more authority than we do. And, you know, what a yeoman's piece of work for Nagorski. She's been in over 10 minutes now. You mentioned she was sick all week long, and I know she's a little winded right now, but the Orioles really need her.
I don't think she has any fouls yet either, John. So hopefully she can stay. That's going to be on. I believe that's going to be on Olsen. If it is, that could be her second, John.
Yep. 45. So
well, maybe her first. Maybe her first.
Okay.
Olsen. Let's see. Let's get the official. Her first.
So her first as well, and Miller going to go to the foul line here.
And John, now they're in the double bonus. So every time we're going to be looking at 2 unless it's a player control foul.
Orioles with 10 fouls in the half and only 5. But I'll tell you what, Fridley has not really done that great of a job shooting, as well as they've had a lot of foul line troubles too. So they haven't done themselves any favors, and that's indeed why they're down 5, even though the Orioles are so shorthanded right now.
It's definitely keeping the Orioles in the game. And there she missed the second of 2, and Nagorski's there again. Here comes Schultz. Amy brings it over. And then she turns it over quickly. And Henderson tries to poke it. And the left-handed layup by Gilreath. You can see how quick she is, and she shortens the gap to 3 points. It's 20-17, just under 3 minutes left.
That was only the 4th and 5th points of the half so far for Gilreath. Turnover there, and Miller's got it, looking for Gilreath.
Crossover, and she's having trouble. She's going all the way in. And then they're going to get Addie Mae Perkins with the foul. And I believe that's her first foul. And the team they're in the double bonus.
Yeah, so, I really thought Miller was going to give it up that time. She had Gilreath ahead of her, but she used that as a decoy and then went left to right and split the D, and she's back to the foul line where she didn't have success her last trip.
I agree. Well, you can see, John, not only are the falls hurting us, but the turnovers the past couple times down. You know, Mara tried to make an entry pass there, and Abby just didn't come out to meet it. You know, when you stand on your heels and let the ball come to you, it's not going to be a good combination with a quick team like the Tigers. And she misses, and there's Nagorski again.
I believe she's missed 5 free throws, 0 for 5 in the first half. So,
and the foul total is 5 to over 10. There's a down low pass into Olsen, who misses, and no rebound. The Orioles just she doesn't see it. Oh, and then Nagorski's going to get a pound on.
Oh, that's too bad on Skylar, because it was a loose ball situation. And I'll tell you what happened there was the pass went indeed out to Keeler, and Keeler had no idea it was behind her. So.
Yeah, you're
Skylar
right,
went for the ball. I kind of wish they would have let him play on that time.
Yeah, sometimes there's incidental contact, and you just got to let them play. You can't.
Loose ball. Yeah, some of the fans and Coach Massey over there talking to the officials as well. So here's Keeler at the line. She's got 2 free throws so far is all she's got. There's another miss.
Yep. So you know, you hate to want to foul anybody, but I guess they fouled the right person. If you.
Yeah, I mean.
This game would definitely be different if they were hitting their free throws. And she missed again, and there's Olsen with her rebound, and she kicks it out to Schultz. Schultz pushing it up. 2.5 minutes left here in the first half. Orioles up by 3. No need to push it.
A little overplay from Gilreath on Henderson that time as she was going for the steal.
So it's going to the battle of the threes is going to be an interesting one. Here comes Henderson around the pick. Now she's going to attack, John. Oh, and there's a reach.
That should be on reach, I think.
Is it her or Keeler?
Let's see if we'll find out if it's 3 or 15. If it's 3,
Gilreath.
So that is Gilreath's second. We'll see if the Orioles before the end of the half can even get her with a third. That'd be nice.
You'd like to see him attack the big dog.
Yeah.
Let's see. Addie Mae Perkins gets it to the corner. That's Schultz. Schultz, left-handed drive into the middle. She stops. She hits Perkins from 3 points. No rotation on the ball. Just misses off the back of the rim.
Yeah, she didn't. No real. You're right. No rotation at all.
Oh, and Gilreath has no problem pulling the trigger, and she hits 3. And John, we're all tied up at the 153 mark.
Yeah, you knew that was going to happen eventually. She'd have a hard time finding the bottom of the net so far. And there you see Gilreath again overplaying, and Mara's got an angle now. Entry pass this time.
Interesting, and Abby had a good matchup. And there goes Addie Mae Perkins, who misses she gets her own rebound, and it's good.
Nicely done that time. Gilreath on the overplay. Mara finds the entry pass to, I believe that was Amy Schultz who got it over that time.
And a travel. So so the Orioles get a little momentum, John. 22-20 with 1:27 left.
And you really need to get something, you got to get some offense as well, defense out of the Addie Mae Perkinses and some of the other players on the team that haven't played a lot too.
This is one area that they haven't been able to succeed at tonight, is getting some offensive production on those defensive stops. So let's see, here comes Schultz comes in. She looks for Skylar on the roll. She doesn't get it. Then it was tapped. Schultz gets it back. She throws it to Nagorski. Here comes Henderson for 3. It's
wow. Right over Gilreath for 3 and another 3 for Mara. She's got that 3-4 inch height advantage. Gilreath really loves to overplay and play aggressive for the steal.
And they got it down way too easy that time, but Skylar Nagorski there again with the rebound. And here comes Henderson, looks up quickly. Oh, just a little too much, John.
Little excitement that time, and the fans are really fired up, and that's encouraging the Orioles as well.
This is something we didn't see last year, though. The Orioles really didn't look to push the ball up that much last year, and not only are they pushing it, but they've had a little bit of success doing so. So now we've got Backstrom, who goes, and there's a kick by Henderson.
And the Orioles, just when you thought, Fridley was going to make a big run at it, that trifecta really helps the Orioles definitely that time. And we should mention Amy Schultz did re-enter the game a minute or 2 ago, so 3 fouls, so hopefully she can stick and not get another one here before
Miller goes with the right. And Addie Mae Perkins is going to get snatched with 1.
Yeah.
And that's going to be her second foul.
I think that's either the 12th or 13th foul of the half. I'm not positive, but, so far, and they're sending Miller to the line again, and she's due from the line.
We need an abacus to keep track of the fouls at this point.
Usually they say the home team's supposed to have more free throws in most games, but this is definitely not one.
We're not getting any home cooking there. So Miller makes the first of 2, and she closes the gap 21-25. Second one is good. So now it's 22-25 with 30 seconds left. Let's see what the Orioles do. Will they go for one?
Yeah, I didn't see anything out of Coach Massey that time. He looked very calm, and we'll see.
There's the elbow pass. This could be the keeper play. Oh, it is the keeper play. Oh, and a big block by Schwent.
Schwent really got that beautiful. And talk a little bit about the keeper play. I loved seeing that, what she did with the ball that time.
That was a swat by Schwent. So Addie Mae Perkins throwing it. We'll talk about that play in a minute. Here comes, this is Mara from the right side. She finds Perkins at the top of the key. 17 seconds left. Skylar Nagorski from 3. She misses. Nobody gets the rebound. It's Keeler. Keeler pushes it up.
Just 10 seconds remaining here. Henderson on Gilreath as we hit 6.
Here comes Gilreath. 5 seconds. 2. And Schwent pulls the trigger off the backboard. No good. Nagorski with the rebound. And that's halftime. So at half, the Orioles are up 25-22, and we had quite a matchup, John. It really is a battle of 2 undefeated teams tonight.
It really is, and you know, even though the Orioles with over twice as many fouls in the half as Fridley, you know, just what yeoman's work out of all the girls. You know, Addie Mae Perkins, I think, played every minute in the first half. Amy Schultz gets 3, has to go back in the game. The Orioles have Skylar on the bench for, you know, the first 4 minutes. She's been sick this week. She plays the last 14 minutes of the half. She contributes on the boards. And you know, one thing I noticed the last minute and a half there was Mara, I believe, had 8 points, I think, a couple of threes, and I don't know what she had officially.
I think that's about 8.
Yeah.
8, about 10, actually.
Okay, she had about 10, and then Gilreath was on her. In the last 2 sequences, they took Gilreath off of her because she was overplaying so much and so aggressive, and they switched up defensively because Mara was able to beat her a couple times as well, and then she's got the range, so.
Well, John, you bring up a good point. You know, with Mara's had a couple real big games this year, but where the Orioles have really played better is when they don't need her to score that many points because they do have other kids on the team that can score. But lately she's been hot, and she's making her shot. So you know, sometimes go with the hot hand, and fortunately, you know, she only has 1 foul, so she can still be aggressive and do some good things. But she's taking good shots this year. She's been very confident. She's been very poised and under control, which is good. And now hopefully she can mentor Lorraine, because what you're seeing from Lorraine is kind of the way Mara played in her freshman year. So you know, a lot of this is the game is so much faster than what you're used to coming out of travel ball, and even from JV
intensity-wise too, with so many fans here. And
exactly. Yeah, a lot of excitement. You're playing on your home court. So.
Well, and you know, and the other thing that was really nice that happened before we go away to break is that when Maxie Moore, the freshman, gets her 3rd foul, she'd been playing Gilreath the whole half. She'd been, you know, playing very aggressive defensively on her. She'd been harassing Gilreath a lot, and Gilreath was had a really rough half, I think, offensively. I don't think she's happy at all.
No.
Averaging 31 a game, and I believe, you know, she's only got 7 in the first half. So
which is still a third of their points.
Yeah, exactly. But she goes out of the game with that 3rd, and then within a minute, Amy Schultz goes out of the game with the 3rd. So you're thinking, wow, we're really down to 5, maximum 6 players to use.
Right.
And yet the Orioles worked their way through the half, and you know, they're still up. So
no, very, very encouraging. So a fun first half. We're going to take a little bit of a break here. We've got about 7 minutes. So Orioles lead 25-22, and we'll be back with second half action from St. Louis Park. And you are watching ParkTV 16 Girls Basketball.
Stick with us.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A covenant that split the skies over Berlin. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A promise was made. A solemn oath that liberated Seoul. A sacred trust that defended Quezon. A pact that dug in Da Nang. A contract that weathered Tet. A promise was made. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. A bond that patrolled door to door in Fallujah. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. A promise we all must keep. DAV fights for all veterans and their families so they get the health care, financial benefits, and support they earned. If you're a veteran who needs help or you'd like to help us keep the promise, visit DAV.org.
All right, welcome back to St. Louis Park Girls Basketball here on ParkTV 16. I'm Mike Resnick along with the big cat, John Fromm, and we are getting ready to start second half action of non-conference play between the St. Louis Park Orioles and the Fridley Tigers. Exciting first half, John, 25-22 in favor of the Orioles, and it'll be Oriole basketball starting the second half.
Interesting to see here. The Orioles got the 3-point lead as we enter the second half here. For Fridley, since I'm doing their books, Gilreath finished the first half with 8. She averages 31. And Teff, who had 6 early on but got her second foul, back in the game. So they're playing full strength. They've also got Robinson at center. And you've got Schwank out there. And here's Backstrom as well defensively.
Yep. When Henderson attacks, she gets fouled, but they don't call it.
Wow.
And Henderson goes aggressively to the hole. And that should be her 12th point of the night. So Orioles up 27-22. They've got Backstrom bringing it up. Hawked by, a beautiful pass down to Robinson. And Abby just found herself out of position that time. But a nice pass there by Backstrom.
We'll see if Coach Reddypenning really plays his top 5 a lot. He rotated 11 players in the first half and probably wasn't too happy with their final results.
So the Orioles are back out with their starters, and it's interesting. There's Olsen missed his, and then Maxie Moore with the rebound, and she goes off the backboard. So yeah. Maxie Moore, that's Lorraine's first field goal of the night, giving her 4 points. Ooh, between the look at Backstrom with the handle.
Almost like Nicholas Backstrom, the goalie for the Wild, that kind of coordination.
You think it's any relation, John?
Oh, nice drive. I don't know if it is, but I'll tell you what, if she probably got that Swedish blood if her last name's Backstrom.
Oh, and look at Henderson driving the baseline.
What a start for the Orioles offensively as both teams really come out gunning and executing very well.
Henderson looks like she's just made up her mind she's going to attack. And I think it's a wise move right now. The Orioles find themselves up now 31-24.
Ooh, almost a travel that time, forced by Maxie Moore.
Well, and Schultz is really trying to push Backstrom to the left. Oh, and Olsen with the big block.
That was a Clinique moment, as indeed there was a facial at the foul line.
Oh, we were waiting for that. So 16-14 left in the first half. Orioles up by 7. And we've got that Schwenk throwing it in. She's looking for Backstrom. It's not there. Oh, she finds her now. Being guarded by Schultz. Now they go down low again. Robinson finds herself loose. She can't make the left-handed layup. Oh, and there was a very questionable call.
That is really too bad because I'll tell you, Addie Mae Perkins really, I thought, made a nice job defensively, 24 there. But because she harassed Robinson, and that is her 3rd as well. So
yeah, and it just goes to show that we got beat on the pass, and Addie Mae switched over, which was a good play defensively, and Robinson couldn't make a left hand. Maybe next time they just let her shoot it.
Nice foul.
She can make the free throw.
That's her 5th point of the day. Yeah, she didn't play much as well in the first half, as we mentioned, Teff and her. And you know,
last year was her first year seeing any varsity minutes really, and so she's much improved from last year.
Right.
And she misses the second one. Olsen with the rebound. And it's good to see Abby get some rebounds because Skylar's not in there to clean up the Windex there. Here comes Schultz, who's going in all the way, and then she gets fouled by Robinson. That could be her 3rd, right, John?
Yeah, I believe that is correct. That should be her 3rd.
So coming out of the locker room, John, it appears that Coach Massey has instructed the girls to attack the basket.
Well, and you know, perfect example there. And you get the really big impact big girl for Fridley, her 3rd foul. If you can make another play at her, get her out of the game, indeed, you've really got a chance. And then, indeed, you're resting Skylar now. If her and Abby can rotate in at the center spot, maybe you have an advantage there, too.
Yep. Oh, and Amy makes the second of 2. And now the lead is 32-25 in favor of the Lady Orioles.
And we do have D'Angelo Purnell now in the game. 23.
Oh, and the Orioles are in a full-court man-to-man press. Oh, and then Purnell gets it, and she very sloppy with the ball. Oh, and there's it's almost a steal by Olsen and Schultz. And then Backstrom gets stuck at the midcourt. Here comes Teff. We haven't seen her in a long time, and she attacks the basket and good.
Done. She did 2 of those in the first half. That's points 7 and 8 for Teff.
John, she is really playing with a lot of confidence this year. Oh, and then Henderson gives it up. Olsen couldn't hang on. Here's Maxie Moore attack. She throws up an air ball, and then Schultz makes the save, and here comes Teff. Teff coming over the timeline. So he's going strong all the way to the basket
again.
And good.
I tell you what, offensively to me, she's had, I think, 4 baskets in probably 6 minutes of play, and she's all 4 were drives.
Markedly improved from last year. Oh, and I think we're going to see Camille coming in.
Oh.
And Skylar Nagorski, there's a backdoor play. Henderson couldn't hang on. She kicks it over to Schultz from 3. She fakes. She goes up over Purnell. That's no good. Schwenk with the rebound, and she kicks. Oh, here comes Gilreath. Gilreath 1-on-4. She doesn't care. She's still going to go in with the teardrop. No good.
Another miss that time, and Maxie Moore had her drive baseline that time, and she did get around her, but that's a tough little runner, that little 5-6 footer when you're...
Here comes the shot by, that's no good. Henderson misses 3. And now Teff is trying to push it out. Well, she's got Schwent wide open. She missed her from a long ways away. And then nobody's there to rebound. And then she gets a travel.
She could have had it earlier, but I don't know if that was one as much as what I thought earlier.
That was a big break for the Lady Orioles, and now we're going to see
Nagorski in the game for Addie Mae Perkins. Amy Schultz with her 3 fouls also going to sit.
And Camille Mayfield is also in, number 5.
Any relation to Curtis Mayfield, one of my famous favorite artists from the late 70s?
Is there a boxer, a Mayfield? No, maybe I'm thinking of something else. So Henderson over the timeline. Orioles up 32-29. Here comes, that's Abby Olsen on the drive. She misses short, and that's Purnell with the rebound. She pushes over to Backstrom. Backstrom low, she's looking deep, and she finds her receiver. Oh, Gilreath misses again from the left side.
Good hustle by Backstrom.
And they're going to get
what a fight down low there. But I'll tell you what, Mara is able to get the tie up, and indeed the ball's going to stay with Fridley, but Gilreath missing that little late.
Boy, she just short on that one, John. It was a little, somewhat surprising. Maybe she didn't realize she'd be that uncontested. Olsen got a little tip on it. Here's this is Skylar hawking Schwent. Oh, and straight up. She got her to pick up her dribble. The back step from Gilreath.
Oh, she finally answers the bell, and that's her second 3, but indeed after missing the layup. So tied up at 32.
Here comes Henderson on the drive. She comes right back, and she puts it in.
So Mara answers the call as well. Oh, and Maxie Moore with a beautiful steal.
And she traveled. They get her with traveling?
She did, but indeed,
traveling.
They do.
So a steal and the turnover.
I tell you, Maxie Moore really pulled that right out of the hat as she got back from that time. Nice play, though, for the Orioles to regain the lead as Mara with a nice drive, and when the Orioles needed it after the 3 from Gilreath, she supplied it.
If anything, that's a frustration play, so that's good.
Yeah.
So you can see some of the Orioles are getting a little winded. Here comes Gilreath over the front. Oh, and she goes straight in and hangs, and then they're going to get Camille with the foul. Camille was just out of position. You know, she hasn't played many varsity minutes, and you can tell this is a different level of play.
And, you know, Mike, apologize. I don't recall how many timeouts each team gets total in a high school game. Is it 4 or 5? But at this level of play with this speed, if this continues, the Orioles might need to think about just getting some rest for their
Orioles have their full complement of timeouts for the second half.
A lot of hands on the hips, and we're only 4 minutes into the half, but it's been fire wagon basketball so far.
Yeah, the Lady Oriole bigs are very tired. They're not used to this pace.
Right. Let alone one of them with
Skylar was sick. Exactly. Right. And the second one by Gilreath is good. And the tie, we're at 34-34, 13 and a half left. Henderson over the timeline, over to the left side. That's Camille Mayfield. Say that 3 times fast. Here comes Maxie Moore. Oh, and she just carves her way in.
I can't even believe she got through Robinson, but indeed she did. But is that a foul on
They're going to get her shooting. And that was 32 as Robinson.
That
could be her fourth.
Be her fourth if it's 32.
Yep, they're going to have to go to the bench.
Yeah,
we're either going to see Schwent or we're going to see Purnell.
And that's what we talked about, getting the 4th foul on Robinson. That's her second of the half already.
And
so they are going to go to Purnell.
23, yep, that's Purnell.
Yeah.
Maxie Moore, and she misses.
So we'll see if the Orioles can take advantage of probably a little advantage down low here. Is Purnell kind of a more inexperienced player, not as coordinated, I don't think, as Robinson.
And the 6-footer Schwent is on the bench also. So we do have a little bit of a size advantage if they choose to go down low. And there's the second one by Moore is good. And that gives us a 1-point advantage, 35-34 in favor of the Lady Orioles.
And Mike, we mentioned in the first half how the Orioles had Maxie Moore on Gilreath a lot.
Oh, shoot. They got Mara for the reach.
Mara for the reach there. I was just going to say, Mara been playing her the second half here. Maybe Gilreath with a little bit of speed advantage over Mara, where she might not have that on Maxie Moore. But now is that 2 on Mara?
That should be her second.
Okay,
and you know, John, when you do that, in most cases, even if you do get a hand on it, they're going to call you for the reach coming from behind like that. So it might have been clean, but at the angle, and wow, she just made her own space, and she got her own rebound, and then she gets a foul and the three-point play, and if this is on Moore, that'll be her fourth.
And that's the switch the Orioles made. That's Teff again with their third basket of the second half, but they switched off the Orioles, and they've had Maxie Moore on her, and as she...
They gave it to Olsen.
Oh, they did. So that's a nice break for there. But I personally been really more impressed with Teff than really almost anybody on the court tonight.
Yep. And she's been doing well. And, you know, John, as we said earlier in the game, she's had 27 and 29 respectfully in her last two games, and she's on her way to 20 tonight.
Yeah, and that's what's missing.
Down low, there's Olsen, gives a little bit of a fake, and she goes over the top.
Beautiful.
Nice play by Olsen.
She worked over Miller that time down low and got her with almost the right-hand mini hook.
We need to see more of that. That's only 4 points from Abby tonight. So 37-37
nice.
on a steal by Maxie Moore. She's coming in. That's a high dribble. They didn't call it. And then she's in the corner stuck, and she throws it out of bounds, and Camille dribbles it out of bounds. So
they're going to get the ball back here, but Maxie Moore really dribbling hard that time, and she almost had an angle to go baseline. But
yeah, Camille just didn't think she was going to get that pass. She wasn't ready to catch the ball.
What a lot of an intensity the first 6 minutes of the second half, though, and both teams have executed pretty well in the second half. Improvement definitely for Fridley as well.
Backdoor pass, and it goes over the head.
I'm going to say that again because as soon as I say that, Fridley throws it.
I love it. Keep saying that, John. But kind of an ill-advised pass. It was a two-hand over-the-head cross-court pass, and usually not the high percent. And they missed Olsen. Olsen was wide open. Miller was coming across. Here comes Nagorski. She goes baseline on Purnell, and she tries to get her out.
But she gets her own board. 2 attempts, no good.
A
nice
gets a tip, and Olsen gets and there's the steal by Moore.
Beautiful job,
and now they're going to
Orioles.
reset. And they just, there we go. Wow.
Fire wagon interior play.
The Heartbreak Kids.
Skylar had 2 attempts that time, and then Abby with a clean steal off Purnell, and she gets it out tomorrow.
Yeah, Backstrom is just backpedaling. She's not even coming out to guard her. So you can see that she's intimidated by the quickness of Henderson, who goes in, and I think that foul should be on 25, should be Miller.
Yeah, Miller, and she's really playing the center position. You know, the Orioles running really the 2 post players in here when Abby and Skylar are in at the same time, as we talked about last year. And they've got, with Robinson out, they really have an advantage interior in size as well as skill, I think.
It's all about recognition, John.
And, you know, besides the interior size advantage, Mike, when you've got Henderson out there with Maxie Moore, then you've got 2 players that can really kick it offensively, and they're really driving a lot, too. So a lot of poisons you can pick from.
Exactly. Both. Mara makes both of them, and she continues her hot streak.
What a barn burner we have here on 16. Both undefeated teams, if you just joined us. 4-0.
They're going to get her on the ride. Camille's, that should be her foul on Camille Mayfield. And that's the Orioles' 5th team foul and Camille's 2nd foul. And it'll be interesting to see how long they can go with this group before we see Addie Mae Perkins, Amy Schultz, or Radiance Brown back in the game.
Well, and if you're Coach Massey here, he goes with the youth that time because the Orioles already with 5 fouls in the second half.
Oh, look at her thread her way through. Gilreath with the teardrop. That is her patented shot. She will take that shot all day long if it's there. And she ties up the game 39 apiece. Camille Mayfield picks up her dribble. Then she goes down to Maxie Moore, who ran before she got the ball, John. And then she throws it over to Backstrom. And here comes Backstrom.
Teff with a nice play that time to pull it away. 31 for Fridley. Backstrom with an angle.
So good defense. Here comes Miller. Over to Teff. Teff, looking for the back door. It wasn't there for Gilreath. She's going to go herself, John.
Wow, another drive. And she really threw that up. And she drives every time with the right hand to the right side and goes strong. You almost got to overplay to her right hand, don't you, Mike?
You would think they'd recognize that. It's, again, it's all about recognition. Here's Henderson. She's ready for 3, but she goes down to Skylar with the left hand, and Nagorski makes it. So as you mentioned, John, they go down low, and the Orioles with a nice little baby hook down low. Here comes Gilreath. Ooh, there's a travel.
Yeah, she tried to cross over Mara, but she waited too long to make the dribble.
You know, she's so quick, she almost doesn't need to have that play against these teams.
Right. Yeah, I'd really like to see the Orioles defensively do something to overplay Teff, who I believe has already 10 points in the second half, and I think all.
They got Olsen down low. Look at
nice
that play.
Entry pass.
There
Beautiful assist that time, Mike, by Mara to Abby down. Beautifully done.
Yeah, it's somebody's dropping dimes, as they say in the business. Here comes Gilreath, nobody on her. And a block by Olsen, a nice tip. And here comes Henderson, who crosses over. Now they've got numbers, John. Let's see if they can convert. Mayfield from 3. No good. She got a little excited, not enough legs. Oh, here comes Tef John, all right hand, and Skylar.
Yep.
She bailed her out 30 feet away from the basket.
She did, and indeed she was using that right hand. She right hand dribbles, she goes right angle-wise as well. But Skylar going to get her second, Orioles 6 of the half, so almost in that 1-1. One more, and they'll already be in the bonus here with 10:08 remaining in the half.
Yeah.
I think we're finally going to have a timeout.
Yep.
It's been fire wagon basketball the second half. The Orioles have already scored, what, 18 points in the half? I think it was 25.
Yeah, it was 25-22 at half.
Yeah.
So really on a record pace. They came out with the first 6 points, I believe, just firing.
Yeah.
And really good. You know, in that case, I think Hanukkah came early for the Lady Tigers because you know, we gave them that fall 35 feet away from the basket, and those are the kind of things that'll kill you. Not only was it a silly foul because she's so far away from the basket, it puts them at 6 fouls, team fouls. So now after that, they're going to be shooting, and you saw this in the first half where they were double bonus with about 4 minutes left in the first half. So they didn't hit the free throws like they are in the second half here, and I guess it'll just come down to who they foul. But hopefully they can get that under control, John.
Well, and one advantage the Orioles have, well, a couple. We mentioned the interior size with Robinson saddled with 4. Whether you go with Abby and Skylar together or you split them, I think there's an advantage there. We mentioned, really it's almost an offset with Mara and Maxie Moore playing against Tef and Gilreath, in my opinion, because Tef has a much better drive ability and has a little more size, a little more, so it's really been a fascinating half. And first half, Reddy Penny might have been really disappointed with his girls execution-wise, but he has to be pretty happy with what he's seen so far of Fridley.
And they were executing the plays, but they weren't finishing them. So, Gilreath had a lot of open looks in that first half, and they just didn't drop.
Right.
So here's Gilreath. She's going to start. Oh, comes out. There's a crossover on Henderson. Henderson giving her some steps. And she crosses over again, a pick from Schwent. There's a three-pointer by Gilreath.
Oh, wow.
And that's the same spot she hit her last three-pointer from. And now they take the lead. So the Orioles are down 43-44.
And that's 11 points in the second half now for Gilreath.
And they're looking, there's a mismatch. And now let's see if Henderson goes on Backstrom. Oh, a nice one-handed bounce pass. That's Nagorski. Oh, and look at Camille get in there. Camille Melfield. And she does the reverse. Oh, you don't see that every day, John.
She had the tongue hanging out, too, like Michael Jordan that play.
No way, even for Dr. J. Oh, and Nagorski's going to get saddled with that one, and I think that's Skylar.
Is that her third? I think it is.
Yeah.
And indeed that was Tef on the drive again, and that time instead, even though she went right hand on the dribble, I don't know if we have the replay of that, she did split, it looked like, that time between Skylar and another Orioles.
She definitely tried to adjust her attack there.
Coach Massey giving some instructions.
And that's actually Coach House, I believe, in his first year as an assistant. And part of the staff here, he came from Minnetonka. Okay. Now we're going to find Addie Mae Moore, Addie Mae Perkins coming in for Skylar Nagorski, who's been hit with her third foul. We're at the 9.5-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. Park is down by 43-44 to the Lady Tigers from Fridley, friendly Fridley that is. And we've got Tef on the line, and she makes it. So now the lead is extended to 2. And Addie Mae will inbound it to Camille Mayfield. Camille over the timeline. She tries a long pass to Henderson. Henderson's looking. Now they're going to run the play. Here comes over to Perkins. Perkins on the right side. Now she's waiting.
Run a little time here, and some of the girls might be a little winded.
Yeah. They're not clear on the play. Henderson from 3, no good, and no rebound. And Miller lets it go out of bounds, which is a smart play there.
And Mike, I just wanted to mention quick, since I'm doing the stats for Fridley, Gilreath, as I mentioned, now up to 18 points. She only had 7 at the half. And Tef, I think, who only played 4 or 5 minutes in the first half, now has 16. She's got 10 in the second half. I believe they have every point so far in the second half for them.
John, when we did the pregame, that they are a two-headed monster, and you really, we really got to. I would rather see a shutdown. There's Maxie Moore. Let's see if she can stay in control this time. They call her Taz. And she makes
beautiful finishes. Gilreath was closing on her, and she had to go to the left side of the hoop, but she didn't use the left hand, so that's not an easy layup either.
The Tasmanian Devil strikes again. Oh, a beautiful backdoor pass to Brooke Miller. She misses, and there's Camille Mayfield. Mayfield gets it out to Henderson, who's going to take her time. She wants Mayfield to take it. So clearly Henderson's moved to the shooting guard now. Mayfield at the point. And a backdoor, there's Olsen.
Nice
and the mismatch.
Pass. Beautiful play. Mike, that's just beautiful basketball. I think that's 2 or 3 entry passes Mara has had to Abigail.
So, and John, it's interesting, with Schwent down there, she's the 6-footer. You'd think that she'd have an impact, but with Robinson on the bench, they've got some mismatches.
They do, and Miller and Schwent are not offensively
backdoor.
aggressive.
Look at that play.
Oh, and a miss, though.
And then
a nice
Maxie
break.
Moore. Let's see if she's slow. Nope, she does. There's no fear, John. She's going. Oh, there we go.
She's going right at Gilreath every time she
came
has
down
it.
2 on 3. I thought she was going to attack the basket. 7:47 left. Orioles are up by 2. Friday night non-conference action here in St. Louis Park. Olsen looks underneath. There's Camille Mayfield. Mayfield kicks it back. There's Moxie. Maxie goes from the elbow. Off the backboard.
She might not have called the glass, but indeed it went.
Oh, the bank is open, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if that was TCF or Fargo or...
That was definitely a deposit.
Citizen State Bank. And there's Maxie Moore's open on the corner. Let's see. Nope, they're not pushing it. So here's Henderson. She's going to take a nice, easy 18-footer. No good. Let's see if Olsen can get it. Good box out.
Abby went for the board that time, Mara. So Orioles now back up by 4.
And you can see the Orioles are jogging back, John. Yeah. And there's a long three-pointer miss. A good box out by Addie Mae Perkins. And she kicks it up to Camille. Camille's looking. She's got numbers. And a good recognition to the left side of the floor. And there's Moxie Moore misses. And she gets her own rebound. Just right place, right time. She misses again. I'd like to see her use the backboard that time, John.
Boy, I tell you, these girls are getting winded, but Maxie Moore, 2 good attempts, but you're right.
There we go.
And I love this substitution. The Orioles are going to bring Skylar back. I was just watching Abigail run down back and forth twice.
But I think she's going in for Addie Mae.
She's going in for Addie Mae, but good call. It's been a high-octane, up and down fire wagon basketball half, and
I haven't heard that expression since 1984.
Exactly. Tom McDonald, the old Chisholm coach, used to run and gun, and he loved those 100-point outings. Remember that? So
beautiful.
Yeah.
So, John, it's been a while since we've been in the booth. Is there some other exciting things going on in Park Sports? Or
yeah. Thanks for the intro, and Paul, we haven't talked about it, but if anybody wants to get a copy of this game today, and why wouldn't you? If you're any kind of an Oriole fan. You can go ahead to go on the ParkTV.org website, ParkTV.org for replay times. If you want to buy a DVD copy of this game, it's $15 or $10 a piece if you buy 3 or more. I assume all the Park parents are going to do that. And then also, we didn't talk about it, but a lot of good things going on with St. Louis Park Sports this winter, as Mike's snapping a nice selfie. Go to the Go Park website. I was just reading that the Oriole hockey team was down 4-2 last night, the boys, with 6 minutes to go. Got 2 shorthanded goals the last 6 minutes, and then won it in OT. And the boys basketball team, and then Sean Cork, shout out to the junior not alpine skier, but cross-country skier. I think he's ranked 2nd in the state. So
that's great.
A lot of good things going on.
Good to see all the Park kids not only excelling in the classroom, but on the field. So 6.5 left tonight, 49-45 in favor of the, a big pick, almost a moving screen by Miller. There's a kick out. And I thought Maxie Moore, there she goes, with the steal. She got the tip. Let's see what she does, John. And the basket.
She goes to the right hand on the right side. She picked it clean off of Dean. Number 10, Dean, in the game there for them.
That was a good pick. It could have gone either way. She might have had a little hand on it. Here's Camille Mayfield pressing the ball. Now that everybody's hawking the ball with Gilreath.
What a finish. And
it's when she can go 1-on-4 like that and get the basket, I don't know what you're going to do. 51-47 now.
And what a
almost
catch.
Threw it out of bounds. Maxie Moore makes it. There's Mayfield. I thought she was going to throw it away. Wide open Nagorski. And she gave up the shot.
Skylar really loves shooting.
They're looking for the post. They've got the mismatch. And Skylar could beat Miller all day long if they find her.
Yeah, Orioles, they got both their bigger young ladies in the game, so definitely a size and quality
Henderson
advantage.
Stops, pops, no drop.
Nice
There's
job
Olsen.
by Abby on the
She
tip.
just tips it, but she can't track it down. And now they've got Miller, and they sag off her. Let's let her bring up the ball. And there she is at the point. Wide open underneath. They just missed. It was an errant pass to Teff. And now we've got some subs. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, as we've talked about the mismatch offensively, now Robinson 32 re-entering the game with 4 fouls for Fridley. Their only real true center, in my opinion, who actually has a lot of skills down low, and also 12 entering the game for them.
I'm not sure how tall she is, but with the hairdo, she's got an extra 4 inches. Here comes, a good pick and roll there. Nagorski finds herself on the baseline, but it's short off Robinson, but she saves it to Miller. And Miller's looking up. She's trying to find Backstrom, but So she's going to keep it herself, and now you've got Skylar Nagorski at 6 foot, guarding her 40 feet from the.
Yep.
Oh, and Teff did a little hop and a step.
Oh, how did she? Boy, but a beautiful drive by Teff as she goes right-hand again, and there was almost contact, and there was foul on the Orioles.
It looked to me like she traveled when she did the ball fake. She left her feet, and they still was able to convert, and unfortunately, Abby got the foul on the way going up, and that'll be Abby's 3rd foul of the night.
Right, Abby gets the foul. Indeed, we got a substitution as Addie Mae Perkins in for Abby Olson. Just going to spell her a little bit as Skylar was spelled. And you had another hoop by Teff driving to the right hand.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what side of the court was she? You know, John, I'm thinking if you just put somebody on that low right side block, she's going to run right through you.
Right, and she'll be able to draw some fouls, hopefully. Absolutely.
I know
she hasn't shown that she wants to pull up ever from 10, 12 feet and actually shoot a jump shot. She just wants to drive you and beat you.
My close personal friend Chris Bjorgard used to tell me that.
Ooh, a rainbow. Another rainbow by Gilreath for the 3. That's her 4th 3 now. Puts her at 21 points.
And now
40, only 4.5 to go.
53-51 in favor of the Tigers. Oh, she's got a dead ball, and there we go. They bailed her out. I see Amy Schultz is set to check in. Here comes Addie Mae on the left side. She tries to go around. Now she gives it over to Nagorski. Nagorski goes down low to Henderson, who finds the mismatch and the basket.
Mara's been passing it into Skylar and Abigail, and now they give a little love back to Mara.
It was a good
good two-person game.
I like that little reverse of roles there. So now here's Gilreath, you think she's going to pull the trigger? No, there's Backstrom looking for Robinson. She's battling Nagorski.
Oh, nice hands by Skylar on the steal.
Beautiful play and deny on the defense. Orioles tied up.
Yeah, we're going to get a travel. I think that time or double dribble.
Double dribble on.
They're going to figure it out. Double dribble. Yeah, that's right. Now Addie Mae in the game here. Now Amy Schultz going to come in, and we'll see who
I think she's going to come in for Camille.
Oh, Mara's going to sit for
Nope, Camille.
Okay, yeah.
Camille had extended minutes there, and she really helped out. Are we looking at a timeout now?
I'm wondering when Coach Massey's going to go to the well here, just because he's got Abigail still sitting, composing herself.
I don't think has Mara sat the whole game?
No, she hasn't sat even for a lick.
Yep.
And obviously Maxie Moore playing the whole second half with 3 fouls, still hasn't picked up another one.
We had a chance there. That's going to be over and back, John.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
So I think you got some tired players on both sides.
We got a technical? What do we call it? They're saying it was tipped.
Oh, tipped. So they're going to regain possession because it was tipped by one of the Oriole players. Coach Massey real calm about it, but Reddy Penning came off the bench loud and really was vocal. Got that call.
Yep. Now Massey's questioning the call. Trish Olson doesn't agree with it. She's wondering what's going on.
We're all knotted with 3.5 to go here. In case you just joined us, the battle of the unbeatens.
Here we go. Backstrom. And there's the switch. Henderson stays on the ball. Henderson hawking her. Backstrom steps up. That could have been a travel. Robinson with the fake. Nagorski was right around Nagorski.
And she traveled before she. So I don't know if Nagorski, put a hand in there that caused her to take the extra half step, but it. Just what the doctor ordered.
Clearly, that is not Robinson's strength, is driving to the basket. She's more of a post-up player. Here we go. We got Schultz dribbling the ball, Teff guarding her, but no one's really pressuring the ball.
Nope.
Now here's Nagorski from 3, and Robinson's giving her about 4 feet. She fakes.
Skylar created some room there.
There's a pass into Schultz. Schultz driving, and she gets tied up. Robinson strips her, and it's going to be Oriole basketball.
I love the fact Skylar tried to take her baseline, and then she did give her the little push there with the forearm. No call, though.
They like to call that the forearm shiver, I think.
Right.
Addie Mae Perkins throwing it in. She goes to the corner. That's Henderson from 3. No good. No rebound for the Orioles. Here's Teff, and you know where she...
Nice
Henderson.
Job, Mara.
And she's going to get it. She's got it. Look
clean steal by Mara.
And she goes long. Here's Maxie Moore. You know where she's going, John.
What a finish. Mara goes down. Beautiful steal. It took her 3 attempts to get the steal, but then she makes a cross-court diagonal pass. And Maxie Moore, no fear for a ninth grader.
No fear at all. If you just think if she can develop a left hand, how dangerous she'll be. And look at that. And Gilreath, she wants to go right. The big board by.
A foul is called. And I don't know if.
Addie Mae.
I tell you, It might be on Addie Mae, but I don't know if Robinson could have even finished that layup because she was forced to switch to her left hand to get the shot off even.
Yeah, I think she was under the basket, wasn't she?
Yeah, I was going to say. So she got bailed out there, and Abigail with her third foul.
No, Abby's out. So it's got to be on either Addie Mae. Oh, they gave it to Nagorski, who's got 4.
She's got 4 now. So first Oriole player with 4. So the post players both with 4 now.
And Robinson makes.
With 4, going to make her foul shot. That's point number 6 on the night for Robinson.
Wow, if she makes this, we're all knotted up again. 2 minutes and 18. Every time we play the Fridley team, it's always a barn burner.
These teams better keep playing, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you got to keep them on the schedule. I don't care which athletic director you are, but you got to get on the phone now and book the game for next year, John. 55-55, 2 minutes left. The Orioles are not forced to attack.
No.
Get a good shot. Henderson, she's got the mismatch with Backstrom on her. Backstrom's giving her about 5 feet. Here's Schultz.
Skyler flashing down low. Now she's going to try to take Robinson outside, and now she works the baseline.
There she goes. Oh, look at the baseline's open. Nope, she doesn't want it. She pulls up. Here's Skyler. Nope, and it's off Robinson.
Good overplay by Robinson to get a hand on it.
And now we've got Olsen coming in.
So this will be nice for Abigail, well rested, coming in for Amy Schultz. So you can. I still am thinking at some point maybe the Orioles are going to take a timeout, but the way this game's gone, Coach Massey's just happy with.
Inbounds to Nagorski. Nagorski on the elbow. Cross court pass. Dangerous. Inside quickly to Olsen. Snapping it out to Nagorski. Ooh, she might have traveled. Here comes Maxie Moore. She's not afraid.
Oh, she's not afraid to step up from 12 on the baseline.
So the Orioles are up by 2, 57-55 now.
Wow. I don't know how many the freshman has, but a couple of nice hoops the last 2 minutes on really quality baskets at this time of the game, too. And a steal almost.
She got here comes Teft at the right-handed layup.
She splits the D, hits the hoop, and draws the foul again to the right hand.
And if that's on Nagorski, I believe that's her
5.
5th.
Yeah, if it is.
Yep, and Skyler just fouled out.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't know, Paul, if we have a replay of that, but Teft, who's done it all game, she split the D for the second time. We're knotted at 57.
Skyler's upset.
She's very upset, but she's had a great game offensively for a young and defensively. Well, let's see if the Orioles can pull this out together.
Yeah, you know,
what a sequence.
She really played a great game. She has nothing to feel bad about. She might have been robbed there, but you know, John, my concern is on.
Teft. Teft misses it, but a good rebound.
Offensive rebound by Schwent. Tie game with 1 minute and 18 seconds. And a traveling call, I believe, on Schwent.
No, they did get
timeout. Timeout. I thought he was going to call travel. It looked like she might have dragged it. What a game. 1 minute, 16 seconds left. 57-57 here in St. Louis Park. John, I don't know what to say.
This is, you know, Paul's our director of the truck, and special shout out to our cameraman, Kurt and Dina. But Mike, you know, you and I have done a lot of these games. You've been to, over the years, growing up in St. Louis Park and being a fan, gone to hundreds of games, and this is really one of the best overall environments and games we've seen, and a really quality second half by both teams.
I agree, John. It's you just the competition is there. The rivalry is just, I mean, this has really become a classic, and I really would like to see this continue. Both teams have their own niche. They both have some go-to players. They both have speed, quickness. I would say the Orioles are in favor a little bit on the post play. However, Fridley's been able to figure out that layup. I mean, and every time they go in, they're getting the shot off, and it's falling for them. Teft is point, you know, case in point. Yeah, if she goes in like that, if you're going to foul her, you have to make sure she doesn't get the shot off.
And what I've really been impressed with this game is, you know, obviously you've got a lot of senior leadership for Park, but Mara as well as Maxie Moore have completely been fearless in the gut check part of the game here, going for the hoop, going for the steals. And that Teft as well, she's only a junior, and she's totally fearless. It was amazing she made that basket, let alone she got the foul. And then, as you mentioned,
so coming out of the timeout, it'll be Gilreath, interesting, throwing it in. So we'll see. Usually what will happen is she'll slip to the corner and look for a shot. Let's see if they do that. They'll go to the top. Now Gilreath is going to swing to the, and Maxie Moore almost gets it, but guess who? Teft, and she misses. Olsen with the rebound. 1 on 3.
1 on 3.
1 on 4. She wants it. 1 on 4. No. And she's way out of, and then she throws it away. Out of bounds. What's the call?
The Orioles, did they get the timeout while Maxie Moore had the ball? Maybe they did. I'm confused by that. But Coach Massey gets the timeout with 1:02 remaining. And you were right. I thought Maxie Moore 1 on 4 was going to go to the hoop. Thank goodness
John,
the
there's a
freshman-
reason they call her the Tasmanian Devil.
Is
She
that-
is just a whirling dervish.
She really is.
You know, coming 1-on-4 with a minute left, you hope to get a decent look. And at one point there, I honestly thought she was going to go in.
Well, you know, and it's amazing. Usually playing tentative is one of the things that happens a lot of times when you get in the last part of any kind of an activity. And we've seen a lot of girls on both sides totally not worried about whether they win or lose. I'm just going to play hard, go for it. I'm glad she pulled it back out that time, yeah.
Which, you know, and it's an interesting coaching philosophy, John. You wonder, with a tie game, do you hold it for, you know, get one good quality shot, or do you continue to, you know, attack the basket and see what happens? With the bonuses the way they are, the Orioles have 10 fouls, and the Fridley Tigers only have 3 fouls. So every foul here on out is the double bonus for Fridley. Now we see Amy Schultz is checking in. So we've got Amy Schultz, Mara Henderson, Abby Olson, the Tasmanian Devil, Maxie Moore, and Addie Mae Perkins is in the game.
Now Miller is in the game, we should mention,
there we
as
go.
Robinson out.
Yep.
So another advantage down left.
They're gone for the speed, I guess.
Yep.
Uh-oh, wow. Mara almost got it picked. She's going to drive in, and then she gets picked. Let's see what happens. Oh, underneath. Let's see. Cutting Amy Schultz, who gets left
and
on
Amy
the
gets
foul.
fouled that time. And
Wow.
Indeed, that was. Indeed, I'm sorry. Was that Schwint on the foul? Yeah, I think it was.
Did they give it to Schwint? Let's see. But shooting 2, from our angle, it was tough to see if it was a aggressive foul. But that's only Schwint's first foul, the 6-footer,
Right.
with their first foul and under a minute left. Here's Schultz.
Oh, and Amy, the
shot.
senior.
That was
Ice
the big
water
one.
in the veins for Amy Schultz.
I think that's Amy's second point of the night. So 58-57, Orioles by 1. And this is the second one. And now it's 47 left. 1 point game here. 44 seconds left. Backstrom, a moving pick by Teft. Backstrom driving on Schultz. Here's Miller. Oh, Maxie Moore takes a gamble, and you don't want to gamble. Oh, and one. Ooh.
As it's just madness here as Gilreath makes the drive and gets the foul called against her.
Again, John, there you see the inexperience of the 9th grader. She really
she
gambled
went for-
30 feet away, and you don't want to do that with the number 2 scorer in the state.
And you're up by 1 already, but you went for it. That's her mindset, absolutely.
Yep. Oh, ice water intervenes as she ties the score. It is now 58-all, 33 seconds left. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, and for Gilreath, I think that's point number 22 on the night, and make it
Oh, she missed it.
but Miller with the rebound.
Nobody boxes out, and Miller gets his basket.
Wow, and that's one of her first hoops, so they're up
2-point
by
lead
2.
now. Uh-oh. Amy hangs on. She finds Moxie Moore. She goes for 3. No good. A wild shot there with nobody underneath. Here's Miller. They're going to have to get a foul, John. 16 seconds left.
Yeah,
and Amy gets an aggressive foul. That'll be shooting 2.
And that was Miller's first hoop of the night on the offensive board there. And I'm not sure, I don't know if we have the replay of that, but I don't know. I think that was Addie Mae Perkins she was up against. And I don't know if she made some contact with her to get position, but she was completely, unblocked out on that sequence, which seems strange because Addie Mae's a very experienced player, right?
Yeah, you gotta put a body on those ladies, and it's really tough. Amy Schultz now fouling out. That was her 5th foul. And Amy gave us some quality minutes there at the end. Now Camille is in the game, checking in for Schultz. 14.5 seconds left. It'll be
Gilreath with a 2-point lead.
2-point lead.
So if he makes 1, we're still at a 1-possession game. Orioles still have, Abigail Olsen.
2 shots?
2 shots, I believe, because we're in double bonus here.
First one's good. This is a big one right here.
This can make it a 2-possession game with 14 seconds to go for the junior Gilreath.
Oh, she missed, John. Oh, there we go. Maxie Moore up quickly to Henderson. Henderson, she's going to attack. Oh, timeout.
Well,
Wow,
maybe that's just
seconds.
as well because
She was going 1-on-3.
Yeah, she was going 1-on-3. Even if she would have hooped it, it would only been a 2, and you're still down by 1, so you would have had to foul again.
Yeah, unless she was hoping to draw contact and get the 3-point play, but you just can't count on that. If I'm Fridley at that point, I'd almost let her go in, right?
Well, it wouldn't have been right if Gilreath would have made both free throws and we would have had a 2-possession game because the way this has gone, no matter what happens, it went right down to the wire, and both teams really are winners tonight.
So a 3-point lead here for the Tigers, 11 seconds left. John, if this is you and you're drawing up the play in the huddle, instead of Coach Massey, who do you design the play for and why?
Well, and Mike, you've seen all the games, so I've only seen one. It seems to me Mara, who I believe banged down a couple of threes in the first half, don't think she's got any in the second. She seems to physically have the stamina, strength, as well as size to release from 19 feet. I'm assuming they're going to put Gilreath on her, but if that's the case, just like first half, size advantage Mara, I'd love to see a trifecta from her. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, of the girls that we have tonight, if Mara's not there, I'd almost, and Addie May's a good shooter. Skylar is got the height to get her shot off. If we had Lauren, I would say Lauren. But you got to go with who's here tonight. So and based on who we've got, I would say.
And if she's denied, I wonder if Coach Massey is going to say, "Hey, let's get it into." Let's have Moore try to make a drive for the hoop.
Based on the facial expression that Maxie Moore just made, I don't think the play is going to be designed for her.
No.
But we'll see. She kind of cocked her head to the side there. But we'll see. Oh, now they're talking about where the ball should be placed.
Right, where the timeout was actually registered from.
And you can see that all three Park coaches are trying to negotiate this.
And we mentioned
it looks like now the ball is on the baseline right now because that's where they were below the free throw line, but let's see if that's what their argument is.
Right.
And it looks like they were planning on having an inbounds pass at the side.
Yeah, they were, I think, because of where the timeout
So now will they call timeout again? Because they don't have a play. Yep, you're going to have to call timeout again.
Okay.
So, John, that could be inexperience by the young Park coaching staff?
Well, and, that brings up a great point, Mike, because there was just an assumption on the coaching staff of where the ball would be inbounded. And maybe you got to take 2 seconds before you go into the huddle and confirm, even in the heat of the moment and the excitement that the girls are feeling. So I feel bad for Coach Massey and his staff there. So.
Well, the fortunate thing is it's 11 seconds, and they have the timeout to burn, so it's fine.
Right.
It'll give them another look. It also forces the Tigers to maybe do something different.
Right, and more time to think. And I just wonder what, as you mentioned, I wonder what the decoy is here. If Mara's completely double teamed or denied on the outside, do you kick it to a backdoor cutting Maxie Moore and hope for a 3-point play if she can make a hoop on a drive?
Well,
I don't know.
Well, so the other 3-point shooter is Addie May. Let's see who's throwing it in. If Addie's throwing it in, that takes her out of the equation unless she does the quick pass in and then zigzag back.
Yeah.
Mara's on the far side now, so we'll maybe see a pick for Mara and have her come underneath. Yep, she's coming across the top. Oh, they've got two on her. Oh, wide open is Camille, the decoy. Oh, that would have been Addie Mae Perkins and the foul. So a good offensive rebound by Addie Mae. 7 seconds left. She's going to be shooting 2, John.
She is. So down by 3. Here's an interesting sequence. If she can make the first, well, regardless of what happens on the first, it'll be interesting to see what she does with the second foul shot. If she misses intentionally to try to get the rebound. Well, there's no timeouts, right, for the Orioles? Are they done with timeouts?
They might have 1:30 seconds left. Oops, she left it short. So still a 3-point game here. 7.2 seconds left. Perkins shooting the second of 2.
And Mayfield, what an interesting decoy on that play. I don't have any idea whether that was designed, but she was only one to receive it.
It almost looked like it was planned. Oh, she missed the second. No rebound now. They're going to have to foul, and there's a foul on Mayfield.
5 seconds. We'll see. Still an opportunity as they shoot 2, but Mayfield almost tied it up in the corner there because I was really surprised too. Mara came around the curl, and Gilreath was behind her. It was one-on-one coverage.
I think, though, that Brooke Miller was in front and the other one was behind. It didn't appear like there was a good passing lane.
Good angle,
and actually, they hit the open person. Oh, she missed.
Still a chance here as Miller misses the first one. 5 seconds remaining if she misses the next one.
And the Tigers are all playing at half court, so they'll be picking up a half court. If she can miss this, she does. Oh, and there's Henderson. Henderson's going to push it up. She gets trapped. Let's see what she can. Oh, and a foul. Oh, and she doesn't get the shot off.
You know what, though? Really not a bad sequence there.
Smart play for the Tigers.
Yeah, you normally never want to foul from 45 feet from the hoop, but I'll tell you, what you didn't want was her to pull up with. There's only 1.4 left. She could have
her chances of making a half-court shot. And, John, you know what? They're not in the bonus yet.
Oh, that's right.
So she wasn't shooting. 1.4 seconds left. It's going to have to be a bang-bang play here.
Mayfield looking for Henderson or
looking to throw it in. Henderson going to the corner. Nobody's open. Here we go. Abby's got to shoot. Oh, she didn't recognize the fact that there was no time left on the clock. And
yeah, she didn't feel comfortable launching, obviously, from 40 feet there with 1 second remaining.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've got to know the situation. You got to know how much time is, and you know,
Right.
I'd rather have her throw it up at that point and
Yeah,
get a chance than no shot at all. So an exciting game here at St. Louis Park. The Orioles falling to the Lady Tigers, 61-58. You know, John, I'd love to be able to play these guys again at full strength.
Well, absolutely. You mentioned Lauren, the third leading scorer, not even here tonight, being sick with 103-degree fever. You mentioned Audie Ballesteros, another senior, gone this weekend. And we talked about Skylar, not full strength, but gave it everything she had. And hopefully there's some fluids. And I'll tell you, even though the final score says Fridley Tigers go to 5-0 with a 61-58 win, I really was impressed with the Orioles' execution. I really was. I can't tell you, just a lot of improvement I've seen from what last year and previous years.
Yep,
and,
I agree with you.
It was so fun, Mike. And even though it's not the result you want, God, it was fun.
Well, and John, I think what sums it up so far this year for the Orioles is that they're competing. Every game they're competing. Last year, I believe they started the season 0-9. And of those games, the average loss was more than, it was double digits. It was up there.
Right.
And so I don't have the stat in front of me, but there was it was challenging for the Lady Orioles. This year, they've been competing. They've been finding each other. You've seen contributions from multiple spots on the floor, and tonight was no exception. We had a nice contribution. Camille filled in. This is her first time with any significant minutes, and she really didn't hurt the team. There's a couple times where she seemed a little bit like a deer in headlights, but I think that's going to come.
Who wouldn't be?
Exactly. I agree. And right. It's not a rip. It's one of those things where when you're that young and all of a sudden you're thrown into a game, especially with the speed of Gilreath, and then also with the athleticism of a Teff and some of these other ones, that's really stepping up your game.
And Mike, one thing I just want to say, and as everybody thinks about getting a copy of this game, we'll talk about that. But a lot of times in high school, college, pro sports, a lot of times you have to play to win. You can't play not to lose. In other words, you can't play tentative. And that's one of the hardest things. Everybody wants to be perfect all the time. You're going to make mistakes. But Park had tons of aggressiveness. And throw it out to Fridley second half. Gilreath really answered the bell. And Teff, to me, was the MVP of the game. She plays 4 minutes in the first half. She makes that in a sequence where they're, I believe, down 2. And she splits the D, makes the layup, and gets fouled. And then, a great rebound by Abby Miller on the block out there.
Yeah, that was. I think that was a big play. That one really sealed the deal. So, John, let's take a look quickly. With that win, the Tigers will move to 5-0 on the season, and they find themselves against Legacy Christian Academy in their next matchup. And the Orioles are going to be hosting the Academy of Holy Angels, and that'll be next Friday night. So the Orioles have a week off before they compete again. Let's hope we get Audie back and Lauren is on the mend, and nobody else on the team comes down with that terrible flu that Skylar and Lauren had this week, and everybody is healthy, and they'll be back competing again. So they've got a really good chance. After the Holy Angels game, right after the holiday break, the Orioles are going up. They're taking the trek to Fergus Falls for the Fergus Falls tournament. And up in Fergus Falls, they'll play Fergus Falls, and they'll also be competing either against Maranatha, who beat them handily last year, or they'll see Breckenridge. So there's some good competition and some teams that we normally don't see. And then they go to Orono, and then they start conference play against Bloomington Kennedy. So Bloomington Kennedy will be the first game in the conference battle. Then they play Eastridge for another non-conference game. They saw Eastridge participate in that Henry Sibley tournament, and Eastridge also went 2-0 in that tournament. So of the 4 teams, 2 went 2-0 and 2 went 1-1. So they're big. They've got a couple bigs that can play, and then we move on to Benilde, Cooper, and Chanhassen.
Yeah. Well, and I want to thank Paul down in the truck and our crack staff of cameramen tonight. But this is really an important game, regardless of the outcome for the Orioles, because you got to step up in class in terms of competition, getting ready for the holiday tournament, and the new Metro West that they're in. We talked about this a lot last year. Much more difficult conference for basketball.
Right.
Much more.
Yep.
Richfield, Kennedy, great programs historically. Chaska, Chanhassen.
I believe one of those schools, Chaska or Chan, scored over 100 points in one of their games this year.
So I just want to say this. Go to gopark.org if you want to get on the St. Louis Park, find out all the schedules and information. None of that stuff's put in the paper anymore. And if you do want to get a copy of the DVD tonight, go to ParkTV.org or give Paul a call at the 924 number. Once again, it's only $10 a DVD if any of the Park fans order 3 or more. So get your group together, give Paul Broden a call. He's the one that brings all these games to you as the director and master of burning DVDs. And
we're really fortunate to have a community public access TV that's as involved as Park TV 16, and Paul really spearheads that. So we thank Paul and the crew tonight, and Kurt and Dina. Congratulations! Thanks for a great show. I want to thank you, John, for joining. Another good broadcast. Hopefully next time we'll get a win. And again, wrapping it up here from St. Louis Park, the Orioles 58, the Fridley Tigers 61. Thanks again, and we'll see you again soon on St. Louis Park Girls Basketball.